According to National Electrical Code Article 240 Overcurrent Protection, Section 240.14, accessibility overcurrent devices shall be readily accessible. However, there are exceptions to this general rule. Exception number 1 states that overcurrent devices mounted on a panel board that are not equipped with any means for locking or sealing the main or feeder circuit breakers shall be permitted to be accessible to qualified persons only. Exception number 2 states that overcurrent devices mounted on a panel board where the panel board is in a dedicated space such as a closet and access to the space is restricted to authorized qualified persons only. Where the panel board is in a dedicated space, the panel board shall be so located that the doors of the space can be readily opened at all times. A qualified person shall be able to reach any overcurrent device in the panel board without the need for a ladder, climbing platform, or other portable device. These exceptions effectively allow builders to install overcurrent protection in locations not directly accessible to tenants under certain conditions. The first exception applies when access to the panel is limited to a qualified person. A qualified person typically refers to a licensed electrician or someone specifically trained and authorized to perform electrical work. The second exception applies when the panel is locked and located within a room accessible only to authorized qualified persons. In this scenario, an authorized qualified person is often a maintenance worker who possesses a key to the room and is trained to safely reset circuit breakers. Therefore, it is permissible to have an authorized qualified person reset circuit breakers in an apartment complex, provided that certain conditions are met. It is crucial to provide clear and conspicuous notice to tenants regarding the location of the circuit breakers and the procedure for requesting assistance when a circuit trips. For example, a notice posted near the main electrical panel could read something like this notice: all circuit breakers are located in the electrical room which is only accessible to authorized maintenance personnel. If your circuit breaker trips, please come to the list location to request a maintenance person to reset it. Do not attempt to reset the breaker yourself. This notification ensures that tenants are aware of the restricted access and understand how to obtain assistance without attempting to access the electrical room themselves. In summary, while the National Electrical Code generally requires readily accessible overcurrent protection, it provides exceptions that permit restricted access in certain situations, such as apartment complexes. These exceptions rely on the presence of qualified personnel and proper notification to tenants. Understanding these regulations is vital for ensuring both electrical safety and compliance with building codes. It's important to note that local building codes may have additional requirements beyond the National Electrical Code, so it's always best to consult with local authorities or a qualified electrical contractor for specific guidance. The definition of readily accessible according to the NEC is defined as capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections, without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to climb over or remove obstacles or to resort to portable ladders, and so forth. This is a very important consideration when installing overcurrent protection. Consider the physical layout of the electrical room to ensure that the authorized qualified person can reach all overcurrent devices without the need for special equipment. The purpose of these regulations is to protect tenants from potential electrical hazards while still allowing for efficient maintenance and operation of the electrical system. By adhering to the NEC and local building codes, apartment complexes can provide safe and reliable electrical service to their residents. Additionally, the selection of overcurrent devices themselves is crucial for ensuring safety and proper operation. Circuit breakers should be appropriately sized for the connected load and meet all applicable safety standards. Regular inspection and maintenance of the electrical system are also essential for preventing problems and ensuring that overcurrent devices function correctly. This includes checking for loose connections, damaged wiring, and other potential hazards. It is recommended that apartment complexes establish a regular maintenance schedule for their electrical systems and keep detailed records of all inspections and repairs. This documentation can be helpful in demonstrating compliance with regulations and identifying potential issues before they become major problems. The National Electrical Code is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and best practices, so it is important to stay current with the latest edition. Electrical contractors and other qualified professionals can provide guidance on interpreting and applying the NEC. Furthermore, tenant education plays a role in electrical safety. Providing tenants with information on safe electrical practices, such as avoiding overloading circuits and using extension cords properly, can help prevent electrical fires and other hazards. In conclusion, ensuring compliance with the National Electrical Code regarding access to overcurrent protection in apartment complexes requires careful consideration of the specific requirements, the qualifications of maintenance personnel, and the notification of tenants. By following these guidelines, apartment complexes can create a safe and reliable electrical environment for their residents. Also, if you do have a room dedicated to the electric meter and a disconnect switch, consider the placement of the disconnect switch. This is so maintenance personnel can shut off the power when needed safely. Make sure the switches are easily accessible and clearly labeled. Now going back to the qualified person, the definition of that according to the NEC is a person who has skills and knowledge related to the construction and operation of the electrical equipment and installations and has received safety training on the hazards involved. This definition emphasizes the importance of both technical expertise and safety awareness. A qualified person must not only understand how the electrical system works but also be able to identify and mitigate potential hazards. Safety training should cover topics such as lockout-tagout procedures, personal protective equipment, and safe work practices. The level of training and experience required for a qualified person may vary depending on the complexity of the electrical system. For example, a qualified person working on a high-voltage system would need more extensive training than someone working on a 120 volts lighting circuit. Another point to consider is the availability of maintenance personnel. If the apartment complex has limited maintenance staff, it may be necessary to contract with an external electrical contractor to provide emergency service and repairs. This is important to ensure that tenants have access to timely assistance when a circuit breaker trips. It is also important to have a clear communication system in place so the tenants can easily report electrical problems and request assistance. This could involve providing a dedicated phone number or email address for reporting electrical issues. In addition to the notification posted near the main electrical panel, it may be helpful to provide tenants with written information on electrical safety and procedures for requesting assistance. This information could be included in the lease agreement or provided as a separate handout. Remember that the goal is to ensure that tenants are aware of the procedures and can access assistance quickly and easily when needed. Now regarding the authorized qualified persons, their authorization must come from the facility, or building owner, or the management of the location. They are responsible for designating who is authorized to access the electrical room and reset circuit breakers. This designation should be based on the person's qualifications, training, and experience. It is also important to keep a record of authorized personnel and their training. This record can be helpful in demonstrating compliance with regulations and ensuring that only qualified individuals are accessing the electrical room. Another aspect of the installation is considering the labeling of the circuit breakers. Each circuit breaker should be clearly labeled to indicate what it controls. This is important for both tenants and maintenance personnel. Tenants can use the labeling to identify the correct circuit breaker to reset, and maintenance personnel can use it to quickly locate the circuit breaker controlling a specific circuit. The labeling should be durable and easy to read. It should also be updated whenever changes are made to the electrical system. The National Electrical Code provides specific requirements for the labeling of circuit breakers. Refer to the NEC for detailed information on labeling requirements. Moreover, consider the use of arc fault circuit interrupters, or size and ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. SIs are designed to protect against electrical fires caused by arc faults, while GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock caused by ground faults. The NEC requires the use of SIs in certain locations, such as bedrooms and living rooms. It also requires the use of GFCIs in wet locations, such as bathrooms and kitchens. When installing or maintaining the electrical system in an apartment complex, be sure to follow all applicable requirements for size and GFCIs. These devices can provide an added layer of protection against electrical hazards. In addition to the technical aspects of electrical safety, it is also important to promote a culture of safety among tenants and maintenance personnel. This can involve conducting regular safety training sessions and providing tenants with information on safe electrical practices. It is also important to encourage tenants to report any electrical problems or hazards they observe. By creating a culture of safety, apartment complexes can reduce the risk of electrical accidents and injuries.